Russia will fall. That's what everybody was saying in the last 24, 48 hours. It's an incredible set of images that are coming out of Russia, just to see how scary, probably one of the most vulnerable moments that Russia has had, that Vladimir Putin, as the leader of Russia, has had in modern times. You know, the last time that we see something like this or looking like this was precisely at the moment that the Soviet Union was collapsing. The very eerie, similar images. But what triggered this whole situation? Well, as we all know, Russia has been in a real dogfight type of war against Ukraine. And Ukraine already, highlighted the fact that maybe the military structure, the organization, the strategies of the Russian armed forces was not as strong as everybody was always led to believe, to the extent that people have been extremely critical of many mistakes and many things that were done wrong in terms of strategy and consistency, lack of equipment, lack of weaponry, many things that really can make a very great case about the fact that Russia is not as strong as everybody was led to believe that it was. But one of the strategies that Russia used that was also heavily criticized was the fact that they were constantly outsourcing military support. Enters the Wagner Group under the leadership of Yevgeny Prigozhin. Prigozhin is literally leading a mercenary group. This is a for-hire type of mercenary group. This man runs it as a business. As a matter of fact, he's considered an oligarch of Russia. At some point, extremely close to Vladimir Putin. Obviously, that will not be the case anymore. But it appeared that he was somebody that was very critical about how the war was being handled. An incident also took place where he was claiming that, whether intentionally or just, again, part of the mismanagement, the group that he was leading found himself under attack from the same Russian army. And again, most people are claiming that was either an accident or maybe already an attempt to get rid of the group. Who knows? I mean, it's going to take some time to really understand how deeply rooted the problem, or for how long the problem has been around. But the fact of the matter is that this man made the decision to actually go back on what it really looked like a coup d'etat was about to take place. And for a moment there, everybody was looking at the whole situation saying Russia is about to collapse internally. It's all saying that, it's not so much the outside forces, but if where you can really be weak and really suffer is if anything happens internally. It really is within that a structure can be cracked and penetrated. And so it appeared that at some point, between the confusion of the Russian army, the mismanagement, because it is very obvious that at this point, it doesn't look like they have a very good game plan. And then somebody that was very angry, very capable, simply decided to go back into. So just think about this for a second. Here is Russia in a war. Most of the army is already out there, already stretched out, very thin. And a group that is supposed to be fighting along the army now decides we're going to remove ourselves from that fighting area, right, from the fighting ground, and we're actually going to go back and we're going to be heading into Moscow, which, just think about how scary that is. You got most of your armed forces already out there. You don't have the normal layer of protection that will be around, especially to protect the internal side of the country. And now you have what some have claimed to be as many, 400 a convoy of about 400 trucks, each of them carrying God knows how many people. They claim that at some point they had up to 25,000 soldiers as part of this group, and they were all heading to what it appeared to be a full takeover of the country. By far one of the most scary moments for Vladimir Putin. By far one of the moments where it makes it very clear that he's not in a strong position, especially what he has projected for so many years. Like there's a lot of people just based on the strength that he was able to, it took so many years for him to accumulate that image, to develop that image, that the country was actually stronger, that their army was actually stronger, and that he was actually in a very strong position as a leader of the country. And the fact of the matter is that in a matter of what has been, first of all, the year-long fight against Ukraine, and this sequence of developments, and obviously the fact that there has been some significant financial restrictions that have been imposed against the country right now, it appears that Russia is weak in many areas, not just financially, but also at a political hierarchy structure. It appears that Putin is in a very vulnerable position, and that's why many people are asking, is this the moment where Russia will actually fall? Well, somewhere, somehow, it almost like a miracle took place. The president, the leader of Belarus, Alexander Lukashenko, ended up stepping in, obviously, on behalf of, and I'm sure by way of communications through Putin, offering a place for Prigozhin to be able to move to. Essentially, this will be his new place of destination. A couple of things to highlight about this man, Prigozhin, as the leader of the Wagner group, essentially just walking away from his own group to go into Belarus, but he's going to be I don't know, is it asylum? Is this man now a political, I don't want to call it, it's not a prisoner, because he has been offered the guarantee that he's going to be free and protection. But then again, I don't know what would be the level of safety that anybody can feel confident about this man being able to get in Belarus. But who knows? I'm sure that everybody's going to be kept paying attention. But the moral of the story is that the intervention of Lukashenko was able to defuse the whole situation, literally 200 kilometers away from Moscow. Then they decided to turn around, and the whole thing, just at this point, it appears to be done and over with. The fact of the matter is that the strength of Russia and the strength of Vladimir Putin as a leader has been tested. It doesn't really look well at all. It looks like they are very vulnerable. So what will be the future of Russia, and what will be the future of Vladimir Putin, who is now coming across also as an aging leader? You know what I mean? I think that's part of the conversation that's happening with a few superpowers. The United States right now has an older leader who is leading this country, and now everybody's looking at Vladimir Putin saying, are you also facing some of the consequences of being a leader that has been around, maybe a little out of touch with what's going on with your own country, or are you just somebody who's aging to the point that you're not able to keep a pulse on what's going on with the place? The fact of the matter is that we don't know if this whole situation is completely over, especially because the war with Russia and Ukraine is pretty much in full force at this very moment, very active battlefield. So that means that Russia and Vladimir Putin, as the leader of this facility, is very much vulnerable and open to any potential surprises, any situations. And here's one of the things that everybody keeps highlighting, and I also want to highlight for you, the biggest concern is what happens when you put somebody in a corner to the point where that he has no choice but to look into the nuclear arsenal that he has available, and hopefully he will never get to the point of making the choice of using. At the end of the day, whether you like Vladimir Putin or not, having somebody else coming in, taking power, not knowing who this person is, knowing the amount of nuclear weapons they have, it's extremely scary. So we're going to keep an eye on what's going on. We'll keep you informed a little bit. Just wanted to give you an idea of the fact that this possibility of Russia falling and Vladimir Putin losing also, what at some point was considered the new emperor, right? This man was displaying so much power, so much strength, so many positions that reflected not only a clear position, but in many cases even certain positions that were even helpful and needed for the West, that at this point it doesn't appear that he's going to have the ability to build the kind of legacy that he was hoping to have. Only God knows what the outcome is going to be here. We extend our prayers to every single person that continues to lose lives out there, and to the families that are being displaced and also losing family members to this nasty war that's taking place out there. So, move this around, follow us, comment to see what do you think. Is this a moment where Russia will be that vulnerable to collapse? Is Vladimir Putin a leader that should be stepping down at this point if he really loves his country, if he's somebody that really wants the best for Russia? Is this a moment for him to say, it's time for me to go? Please let us know what you think. Share this video, subscribe to the channel. We're looking forward to having these conversations with you. Thank you. See you soon. Bye-bye.